Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you a casual manga reader or anime watcher or both, who is leaning towards watching some BL for the first time? Or are you a casual BL fan who's looking to delve even deeper into this world? Or are you a hardcore BL fan who's seen the ups and downs and the most famous moments in BL history, who would like to help the people down in the comments below with their BL questions? Then you are in the right place. Today, we'll be recommending some BL to beginners and to people who have yet to read and watch these wonderful queer stories. But first off, I would like to introduce myself, as always. My name is Ulysses N. Owen for short, and I am a BL author.
My works include I Want You, I Wish, Oh My Gosh They Were Roommates, and the ongoing novel, Wesley Academy.
I'm neither a new fan of BL, nor am I a hardcore fan, even though that's what most people would call me. Admittedly, I got into BL pretty late, when I was around the late years of high school. My first experience with BL was probably like most of your own experiences. I didn't exactly know that a certain anime was BL, or a certain manga, or even a certain game. Honestly, I had not been prepared, nor had I been told what I was getting myself into, which is why I wanted to create this video, so that those who have yet to delve deeply into the subject of BL can do so with me, where I will inform you on what you should know. So, grab a cup of tea or a snack, because it's going to be a long journey. Side note, this is just my learning experience with BL, so please be kind if you have your own take on the matter. Also, I'll be adding the ratings of these stories, in case you don't want anything with explicit content. So I wanted to start with a mini lesson on BL before we move on, and how this genre has spread quite widely all over the world. BL, or boys love, is an umbrella term that covers a number of different genres like shonenai and yaoi, and subgenres like bara and omegaverse. Although having specific definitions in Japanese, I feel as if the Western audience has given them different meanings along the years. When someone is referring to a shonenai, I assume they're talking about a manga or anime that doesn't have explicit content. Whereas when someone says it's a yaoi, I assume that there is. There are negative connotations to the word yaoi, which is why we'll be using the term BL instead, because these recommendations are what I would consider more positive representations than what yaoi might have. Also, if you ever visit Japan, I recommend going to Ikebukuro, specifically Otome Road. When I went there, I spent a majority of my time just admiring all of the BL that I unfortunately could not fit in my suitcase. It is considered the major center for BL, so I would definitely recommend checking it out. Just a quick lesson, but now that that's over, let's move on to the recs. I want to begin with anime, mainly because I know most of us are extremely busy and can only make time to watch perhaps one episode a day or even in a week. For BL beginners, I really recommend watching something that will introduce you to the place where shonenai began, and that is Japan. I assume you'll be reading a lot of slice of life, school life BL, if you like that, but if not, then I have other recs on your BL journey, which is why I would start off with Sasaki and Miyano. It's a very sweet romantic slice of life about Miyano, a BL fanboy, or as he calls himself, a fudanshi, who befriends a senpai named Sasaki, whom he grows to admire as more than just a friend, despite how Miyano constantly says he doesn't want his own life to be a BL. It's a slow burn, friends to lovers, with a cute side couple and a sort of dreamy atmosphere that makes you wish you were back in high school. Miyano is totally relatable too, because he also had no idea that the first BL manga that he bought was actually a doujinshi, until he read it. It's a very heartwarming story, but if you want something a little more angsty and with more drama, I recommend Given. Given tells the story of Uenoyama, a high school student who plays guitar in a band. He is pestered by Mafuyu, a mysterious classmate who carries around a red guitar, hoping that Uenoyama will teach him how to play it. Of course, Mafuyu carries a tragic past, but with Uenoyama's growing affection for him, his future turns a little brighter. I've gotta say, I've watched this anime probably 20 times now. I even bought the band shirt that was exclusively sold in Japan. I'm wearing it right now. I do have to warn you though, that there are trigger warnings like death, so please beware if you decide to watch it. The music, I have to say, is what really drives the story for me. Sentimental, the artist behind the music, manages to capture all of the emotions of this story into those songs. And they will break you. But I recommend doing it anyway. Okay, so let's take it back a couple of years to one of the BL anime that seriously got me into the genre. And that is number 6. It tells the story of Shion, a boy living in the dystopian city number 6, where he encounters another boy named Nezumi on a stormy night. From there, Shion's life is drastically changed when Nezumi tells him the truth about their world. It's an intense story, and a beautifully written series by Atsuko Asano. There are also trigger warnings like death, so please beware. It is such a classic, and I feel that a lot of people forget about it. But if you can make time in your schedules to watch this anime, I really recommend it. So now we're gonna go overseas and into South Korea, where 2 particular BL animations come to mind: Mignon and Hyperventilation. They are both animations with episodes that are quite short, so they are very easy to watch if you have the time. I've recently watched Mignon and even made a review about it, so if you'd like to check that out, I'll link it. It tells the story of Mignon, a boxer at an illegal arena, and Doc, who treats the fallen boxers in the infirmary. When Mignon finds out Doc's true identity is a vampire, their lives change dramatically. As for Hyperventilation, the official summary says, Myungi and Tsuno haven't seen each other since they were 18 years old. Now 27, they run into one another at a high school reunion, and the romantic feelings they had for one another come rushing to the surface. But are they the same people now that they were back then? Both of these animations do have explicit content, so please be aware if you're not looking for that. But for those who want to watch it, the stories in these 2 shows are incredible. And despite the short episodes, the pacing is done very well. I can't wait to see what new animations come from the creators behind them. Moving across the seas again, we are now in China, where I would like to talk about another animation that I am currently obsessed with, and that is Heaven Official's Blessing. The official summary reads, Xie Lian, the crown prince of Xianlei Kingdom, ascends to heaven despite successive demotions. However, he accidentally breaks the gold palace of heavenly officials. With no humans worshipping him, Xie Lian must descend to the secular world to exorcise ghosts. Yet again, another animation that I've watched repeatedly. The imagery is stunning, and you will definitely fall in love with both leads. Especially Hua Qiong, who is the absolute most devoted individual I've ever come across. Seriously, it's great. Now coming back to Japan, I want to recommend 2 anime movies, not shows. One is called Classmates, and the official summary reads, Hikaru Kusakabe discovers his classmate Rihito Sajo, known for being an honor student with excellent grades, practicing his singing alone. Sajo just cannot seem to get their class's song right, and Kusakabe, delighted at seeing a new side of his straight-laced classmate, offers to help him prepare for the event. Although their lives and personalities are total opposites, they begin to grow closer as time progresses. But with the pressure of an unknown future, what will become of them in their growing relationship? There's a feeling of dreamy nostalgia when watching this movie. Like, you wish this had been what high school felt like when you were a student. There are such pure moments in the story, moments that tell you this is what first loves are like. And yes, I do cry a lot when I watch this movie, so prepare tissues when you decide to watch it. The next anime movie I want to recommend is Seaside Stranger, and the official summary reads, Ever since his parents disowned him for being gay, Shun has been living with his aunt on a small island near Okinawa. One day, he meets Mio, a high school student who recently lost his own parents, and now spends his days sitting by the sea. The two young men begin to open up to each other, until Mio reveals that he's leaving. 3 years later, an adult Mio returns to the island to confess his true feelings. But is Shun ready for a relationship? Once again, a beautifully drawn animation that is spectacular. It manages to capture the story told in the manga quite solidly, and I totally recommend it if you're missing those summer days. Okay, so I just remembered a BL live action movie that I did not write down that I should recommend. It's called I Only Want to Keep Looking at You, and it's adapted from the manga within the live action film adaptation of Kaori Surutani's BL Metamorphosis manga. The official summary reads, childhood friends Nagase Yuma and Asakura Sakura have been together through elementary school, junior high school, and high school. Sakura has always felt something for Yuma that he could never say to him. In their final summer of high school, Sakura confesses his feelings to Yuma and kisses him. I can't believe I totally forgot to add this to the list, but I highly recommend it if you want to watch a BL live action. Well, I have to admit, I had fallen headfirst into BL anime, so much that I wonder how I actually didn't realize it was BL that I was watching. For example, my first BLs were Junjo Romantica, World's Greatest First Love, Hybrid Child, and Love Stage. I had no idea that Junjo Romantica was a BL. Literally, someone online recommended it to me, and I dove in without knowing anything. The same goes for Dramatical Murder. I really love cyberpunk things, and I watched it thinking it was just that. Until I discovered there was a whole game too. I have recently played it for the first time, and my favorite route is between noise and clear, but I have not decided yet because I want to try Ren's route. And honestly, I was thinking of making an analysis video on Dramatical Murder, but I'm not sure. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see. Now I'm going to veer off topic a little and talk about some webcomics that you may or may not have heard of. I want to talk about them because I'll be talking about manga very soon. The first webcomic I want to bring up is called Always Raining Here, and the official summary reads, Adrian is heartsick. Carter is horny. This is a story about their misadventures as awkward teenagers as they fumble through unrequited romances. It was the first ever BL webcomic that I read, and it still holds a special place in my heart. Hazel and Belle, the people behind this webcomic, did a fantastic job capturing the quaint but also awkward moments that happened during first love. It's also been translated into many different languages and is available to read for free online, so please check it out. Another webcomic that I hold dear to my heart is called The Squirrel Prince, and it is referred to as a fairy tale inspired story about a young king who gets lost in a magical forest. It is such a cute story, and one that is only 3 chapters long, so it's a quick read. The PDF is available online for purchase on the official site. Getting into manga now. The anime I mentioned today are from some manga. For example, Number 6 is a manga, but also has light novels. Given is also originally a manga by Kizu Natsuki. Sasaki and Miyano is a manga. Classmates, Hyperventilation, and Seaside Stranger. Heaven Official's Blessing is originally a book series, and also has an ongoing manga too. There are also official dubs in English for most of these shows as well, which I believe gives the stories a little bit of a twist and different perspective when you're watching these anime in English. So, I would check out all forms of content these stories are in. It's quite interesting to see how these works translate into different adaptations. I recently covered a number of BL recs in a previous video, which I will also link. In that video, I talked about manga that I recommend, like The Cat Proposed, Cherry Magic, Only the Flower Knows, Lynx, The Dragon's Betrothed, Love Nest, and 10 Count, if you'd like to check out those titles. The many manga that I couldn't cover in that video, I'd like to talk about in this one. First, we have Gambare Nakamura-kun, and the official summary reads, closeted 16-year-old high school student Okuto Nakamura harbors a crush on his classmate Aiki Hirose, despite having never actually spoken to him. The strongly introverted Nakamura fantasizes about speaking to Hirose and often attempts to integrate himself into scenarios that would allow the two to interact, though the majority end in comedic failure. Nakamura is eventually able to build his confidence and grow closer to Hirose. It is a very adorable story, and a relatable one too. The art style is quite awesome as well, because it reminds me of older manga. It's a very distinct style, and it goes so well with the story being told. If you enjoy rom-coms, I definitely recommend checking out this cute story. The next manga I recommend is called I Hear the Sunspot, and the summary reads, college student Taichi Sagawa learns that his lonely classmate, Kohei Sugihara, is deaf, and he enrolls in a part-time job to take notes for him in exchange for food. As the two become more acquainted with each other, they develop a strong friendship that eventually turns into love. This is a fantastic story, and the author, Yuki Fumino, was actually inspired to write this story because of her friends who have hearing disabilities. She wrote the story based on what she learned while visiting a sign language school. It's so cool to read about something that I did not know much about, and it was very informative. Plus, the art is incredible, and the story will really pull you in. Now, onto the manga that contains explicit content. If you've read a couple of BL manga and you believe it's now time to delve into something with adult content, or maybe you just want to dive straight into it, I recommend all of the works of the mangakas behind these two manga. The first is a manga by Meguro Hinohara, and it is Therapy Game. The official summary reads, Minato Mito develops an interest in Shizuma Ikushima at a bar. After a drunken evening together, Shizuma cannot remember what happened the previous night. And as revenge, Minato makes a bet with his friends to make Shizuma fall in love with him and then reject him. When Shizuma develops feelings for him, Minato becomes conflicted as he is forced to acknowledge his own feelings for him. Again, another manga that I've probably read like 40 times. I will never get over how gorgeous the art by Meguro Hinohara is, and how she creates such interesting characters that you can't help falling in love with. It's in my top 10 of all time, and it's there for a reason, so please check it out. Another mangaka that I absolutely adore is Isaku Natsume. All of her works are hilarious, heartfelt, and classics. One of her famous manga, Candy Colored Paradox, is the one I want to focus on today. The summary reads, a change in the stakeout team throws Onoe, reporter for a weekly magazine, together with his contemporary, Kaburagi, a photographer. Onoe secretly considers Kaburagi his rival, and Kaburagi's haphazard way of doing things goes against Onoe's strong sense of ethics. There's nothing but conflict between them. But, in joint pursuit of a scandal, the two of them begin to care about each other? I can't help the classic rivals to lovers trope. I am totally weak to that trope. Hence, the novels that I've written that are full of enemies to lovers. But anyways, this manga is a classic, and the live action is pretty great too. So if you enjoy a good rivals to lovers, humorous, intriguing, lovey-dovey romance with a pairing that gives off old married couple vibes, this one is perfect for you. Okay, so shameless advertising time. If you'd like to read any BL novels, I think you should check out mine. I Want You is an enemies to lovers, first love story, and there's a spin-off called Oh My Gosh, They Were Roommates that is a fake pretend relationship love story with lots of side couples, while I Wish is a fantasy rivals to lovers. Wesley Academy is ongoing on Patreon, and it is a BL murder mystery, so if you'd like to check those out, links are in the description. Wow, we have covered a lot of stuff. There's actually a lot more that I would love to talk about, but since this channel primarily focuses on gaming, BL, and analyses of all those contents, I will just have to carry this BL journey into the next videos. I really hope that this helped, even if just a little, because I know how frightening it can be to delve into something that you're unfamiliar with. But I believe with these recommendations, you will have a great start. In the end, BL is something that is still breaking down walls all around the world. The LGBT community is growing, and we're seeing some fantastic works done by talented queer creators. Our job, as readers and creators, is to learn more about these subjects that we don't quite understand, so that we can share and spread new ideas and stories that could possibly help someone out there who's trying to figure out who they are in this world. I really hope we can continue to be supportive of these stories, and create even more stories that will be a helping hand, and a voice that will shed positivity to this wonderful community. For now, I would like to hear your favorite BL story. And if you've already checked out some of these titles mentioned today, what did you think of them? I love talking with you all, so let me know what you think in the comments. But with that, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.
I read too much BL. Why? I shouldn't even be making this video. I can't just spend all my money on BL. I'm literally looking at my office right now. There's so much BL in here. Do you understand how much money I've spent on BL? What's wrong with me, for real? What is wrong with me? There's something wrong with me.